Okay, so I am here live kicking off our 2 days of coverage at the JOLT conference in Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. And we're starting appropriately enough with Robert Sofia, who is the co-founder and CEO of Snappy Kraken. Robert, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for coming and covering the event, Chuck.
Now, I'm really excited about this. We have a full agenda for today, so thanks for putting together such an A-list of folks here for us. If not too much, perhaps. Yeah. It's really a cornucopia of talent here.
Yeah.
So I know you're busy, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes here. You just came off of the stage, so I heard a little bit about it. But for our audience, for the advisors not lucky enough to be here in person, what are you expecting and hoping to deliver to the advisors that are here today and tomorrow?
Yeah, we're trying to give them two things. The spark of motivation to change, the desire to make changes, and then also the tools to do it. Because the dynamics in our industry, they're putting a lot of pressure on advisors if they want to stay relevant. You've got a ton of PE money flowing into the space, creating mega firms that are hard to compete with. You've got AI doubling in its power every 7 months, taking a lot of the tasks and activities that advisors have done over the years and commoditizing them. So the role of the advisor has to evolve. And they can create more scale for themselves. And then you've got generational dynamics that are shifting and consumer expectations that are changing. The way they interact with technology, the things they expect from it, the way that they want personalization and communications to be handled. And so all of this really forces firms that want to stay relevant to make changes. So this is an event designed to spark that change.
Love that. And one of the takeaways I had from your keynote to kick us off today, you know, when I come to a marketing conference, and this is my first time at JOLT, definitely not going to be the last time, I'm loving it already. Is the following. When I think of marketing, I think of let's talk about what font should I use and what color scheme and what graphic, which I'm sure is certainly a part of it, but you were really pressing that technology button quite a bit. Tell us a little bit more about that, technology and marketing.
Yeah, well the marketing you're describing is just as important as ever. In fact, it might even be more important than ever. But that's the content. There's the content, then there's the automation, and then there's the data. And those three things work together, they're overlapping. So the way technology empowers you to deliver that content on the right channel for the right person at the right time, because those contacts are being scored and segmented and identified who they are. So the messages that are tailored to a technology entrepreneur who's accumulating, they're getting one message, and the messages that are tailored for a retiree who is now drawing down on their portfolio, those are tailored to them and they're different. Or the ones that go to women investors might be different, or physicians. And so the technology is the way to automatically segment, automatically deliver, and then the data helps you to make your communications more relevant. It's analyzing your contacts. You know, what channel are they engaging on? And then it's automatically sending those messages on that channel. So if you produce a video, that's a piece of content, or a landing page, piece of content, how does it get to them? Are they better by text or by email? And does the system know that and dynamically send it on that channel for that contact? That's what the data will inform. And then ultimately you can see all your lead sources and all your opportunities and identify where should I be investing more? Where should I be investing less? So all of those things really for an optimized marketing strategy have to be intertwined.
I love that. And I like that you're using technology to get the right message to the right person, because most of us advisors, you know, don't have an absolute level of, client base that's homogeneous, right? Some are older, some are younger. Probably what my next gen, Henry, right, a high income earner, not rich yet, 30-year-old lawyer, crackerjack, what she wants to hear is probably different than my 75-year-old retiree, right?
Well, absolutely. And if you think about our industry historically, advisors probably learned 20 years ago that they need to have a newsletter, right? Or some kind of commentary. And so they're sending the same thing to all their clients and prospects. And then you describe two different groups, there's many. Now they get this and they go, this isn't relevant for me. Why is it talking about retirement planning? I'm too young for that.
Right.
Or why is it talking about beneficiary planning and estate planning when, I don't have any family, any kids, so it really has to be.
This is really for me. This is clearly canned spam, yeah?
And it's no wonder that people leave their advisors, like over 80% leave the advisors of their parents when they inherit money, because there's not been anything going to them that's relevant. So if you can really understand who your clients are, who the kids are, have different marketing for them, it allows you to both attract the right clients and keep money in your firm as well as generational transfer of wealth happens.
Right, and that's, depending on who you speak with, $70, $80 trillion changing hands. And that was the other thing, and I've heard this stat before, but something like 80% of what I like to call KOCs, kids of clients, are going to fire their mom and dad's advisor. And that's a lot of money that is not going to remain, I should say, in firms. And I think the sort of targeted approach makes some sense. So going back to AI for just a moment, you touched upon it. Are you guys leveraging AI to get that right message to that right person? I assume you are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, AI right now is doing so many things. It's going out and grabbing all the contacts from all the sources. So, if you're getting leads from LinkedIn, if you're buying leads from Smart Asset or Wiser Advisor, if you're doing online advertising, if you're doing workshops, we're grabbing all those leads with AI. We're automatically parsing the data, putting it into a database. Then we're using third-party data to enrich those leads, to figure out their assets and income and other variables. And then we're automatically putting them into different groups, and then we're automatically subscribing them to different sequences, and we're dynamically creating messages that are relevant for them. And all of that is happening with AI automatically.
Yeah. You know what? Let's focus on that for just a second. It's one of those things, like, I've never heard of something, then I keep hearing about it, and it's that. What you touched upon there, and I was talking to someone at another conference about this topic, where he basically took his, huge pile of leads or prospects, whatever you want to call them, sent it to a third party, and that third party said, here is your ideal, or something like that. Is that what you're talking about?
That's one use case.
One part
so
of it,
if you think about it, like AI is a way to very quickly and effectively analyze data and help you know what to do with it. And if you give it the authority to do those things automatically. So yesterday we saw several demos of AI technology in our space, and some of them are doing things like, when a certain email comes in, it's just parsing all that data out and then putting it into the right group and then automatically responding. So what you're describing is just another way to analyze that data. Pull it all in and then generate a profile on it. So more and more you're seeing tools basically do all that hard work. If you're an advisor, you've ever done a segmentation exercise, you know how hard it is and how much, all these spreadsheets, you're trying to figure this out, rate clients. AI can do all that in minutes.
Yeah.
And then it can do content creation that's relevant for them based on that data in seconds. So
that's
amazing.
really fascinating to me. And so I might have mentioned this to you. So right now at our shop, Sovereign, we're kind of finalizing some operational improvements. We're almost there. Next year is going to be all about marketing, which is another reason why I was so excited to be here, because I'm going to attend some of the sessions, see some of the booths you have here. But I do believe that AI, that's a great use case for this, to go through those, some advisors, I've been doing this for 30 years, I probably have 2,000 people in my database that never signed on the dotted line. And if I could leverage AI to do the time-intensive stuff to allow me to be in front of those people more, I think that's a great use case.
Well, just, if we're taking that as a use case, what you can do right now is automatically import all those into a database, enrich them so you can see, what they do for a living and how much their home is worth and what their estimated net worth is and what's their estimated investable assets. And then AI will automatically put them into different groups and then automatically deploy relevant content to them. And then as they engage, the ones who are qualified and most engaged will rise to the top, and the AI will start to tell you, here are your 10 best opportunities. This person, you should send them this text message. You should send them this email.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all available today.
That is, no kidding. That really is super excellent. Really cool. I know this is kind of a short format today, but I'd love to have you back on to do a full-on podcast about
Happy
this.
to do it, yeah.
Because this definitely requires a deep dive for sure.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Okay, so that's a good place, I think, to put a pin in it for today.
Okay.
We've got a lot more content coming up. So thanks again for putting on this conference. It's fantastic, and for getting all these people in one spot for me to talk to. So thank you for that.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for coming.
All right, Robert Sofia, thank you so much for joining us. And this is just kicking off 2 days of coverage. We have 8 or 9 segments planned and scheduled between today and tomorrow. So stay tuned. I'll be back in another 45 minutes with some more of just that. Thanks for joining us. And Robert, thanks again.
Thank you.